the remote control overhead crane. Because they're so versatile, we use overhead cranes in just about every department to keep things moving, helping us meet tight production schedules. Since they're easy to use, today's overhead cranes are handled by nearly all production people, not just by specialized crane operators. That's why it's so important to keep this simple fact in mind. All the capabilities that make an overhead crane flexible, convenient, and productive can also make it deadly if those capabilities are used in the wrong way. In fact, studies have shown that remote control overhead cranes are inherently more dangerous to use than cab-operated cranes. The reason is simple. Even though the remote control box is extra handy to use, it is still an unnatural mode of operation for most of us. It takes a lot of getting used to. So remember, if you want to stay alive and in one piece around these cranes, it's mandatory that you learn the safe mode of operation. Then stay heads up at all times whenever you're using one. Cranes are unforgiving. Generally, an accident with a crane is a bad accident, and many times it can be fatal. There are several other factors that contribute to unsafe crane operation. One is being in a hurry to do your job. In day-to-day operations, we sometimes feel that we have to rush, and occasionally we tend to move faster than we think. This can be extra dangerous when operating a crane, so we need to make sure that our full attention is on the job at hand. Sometimes we pick up bad habits along the way. If we happen to get away with an unsafe practice, we can sometimes develop a false sense of security. But remember, the odds are always stacked against you. It's fairly certain that a bad operating habit will eventually result in a bad injury, or worse. So why risk it? Learn the right way to operate a crane, then operate it the right way every day. Finally, the important factor in crane operating safety is attitude. Don't get complacent. It's dangerous for you and your coworkers. All of us want to avoid work injuries. Your safety on the job depends on you. At all times, be alert and use safe operating practices. Now let's take a look at both the right way and the wrong way to operate a remote control crane. You'll see 4 of the more common situations that cause crane operating injuries. You need to stay alert to what the crane is doing at all times. At the same time, you need to be aware of the path that you're taking as well. One of the more common mistakes made by operators is simply not watching where they're walking. As you'll see, walking and operating the crane can be a problem. It's quite obvious how this very serious accident happened. The operator should have been paying attention to where he was walking as he was operating the crane. It's easy to do it safely. Though the load is your main concern, you need to continually glance down at where you're going. It's kind of like checking your rear view mirror when you're driving. Or if there are too many obstructions in your way, move the load first, stop the crane, then walk to it. When you do these simple actions consciously, they'll become automatic safe operating habits. The key idea here is constant vigilance on what you're doing and where you're going. Because in just the blink of an eye, Let's take a look at another operating situation in which it's especially important to shut down the control box and let one hand know what the other one is doing. See the importance of turning off the control box anytime you're trying to hook a load. Remember, crane controls are sensitive, so be extra careful not to move them by accident. Develop a habit of safety. In a load hooking situation, turn off the control box. If you don't, you're inviting disaster. Always make sure you use both hands when adjusting the strap on a load. Again, the key idea here is being a safe operator, thinking about what you're doing at all times. If you don't, one of the more common ways to put you and your coworkers into harm's way is disorientation, losing track of where you are in relation to the crane and its controls. Take a look at what can happen.
Hey, getting ready to go on break?
Yeah, you coming?
Can't. Gotta get this roll over the blaster.
All right, well, I'm gonna head over to the cafeteria.
Yeah, I just need to get caught up. I'm running a little bit behind today.
Oh, I hear you. We were in the same boat yesterday.
Hey, you think maybe you can bring me back a cup of coffee on the way back?
Sure.
Thanks. Hey, we need some help over here! Please, I'm so sorry. Shh, look at me, come on, look at me. Look at me, don't go anywhere. Let's get some help over here now!
Disorientation has happened to all of us at one time or another. That's why it's so crucial to slow down and know where you are with respect to your load.
Hey, you guys going on break?
Yeah, you want to come with us?
I put this roll in the blaster.
Getting on Al's good side again, huh?
We're behind.
Yeah, it was like that yesterday.
Hey, would you grab me a cup of coffee?
Sure.
Hey, anything for Al's buddy.
Disorientation is losing track of where you are in relation to the crane and its controls. Know which controller you're using. And most of all, if you move a controller, look at the crane. We just can't say it too often. Be alert to what you and your crane are doing at all times. Because with just one small lapse of attention, let's take a look at the single most dangerous mistake you can make while operating a remote control overhead crane. Take a look at the right way to do it, then see the consequences of doing it the wrong way. All overhead cranes have a safe area in which you can confidently operate and react if necessary to keep from being hit or pinned by the crane load. Now watch what can happen when you get lax about standing in the clear, moving out of the safe area.
All right, we'll see you tonight. Gotta go.
You'll be home in time for dinner, right? My parents are coming.
Oh, I might have to work a little over. We're a little behind. But I'll let you know, okay?
Do what you can.
Okay. Bye, dude. Talk to you later.
Say bye, Daddy.
Hey, Easy Money.
Yo, Dan.
You working hard out there today?
They gave me all this extra stuff to do, and my wife's parents are coming over tonight, so I'm trying to get it all done.
Well, I was wanting to catch you. There's a group of us going to go play golf over here on Saturday. You want to go?
Oh, I'd love to, man, but I've got a family reunion. First time the whole family gets to see the new baby. We're pretty excited.
Hey, how old is that little guy now?
6 weeks old. Oh, I love him to death.
Yeah.
I gotta go, guys.
All right.
See you later, Kim. Bye.
See ya.
Buddy, can you hear me? Okay, having some problems breathing. I get the O2 running. Okay, hang on, bud. We're going to help you here. Collar running? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and collar him?
St. Joe County, 553.
Section here.
Echo directed 456. We have a medic en route there.
How far out?
456.
Please start this again. Want the board on this side? I want the board on that side. We're gonna need to clear some of this stuff out.
How you doing, partner?
Talk to me. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bag. Somebody give me a bag, though.
We've got one right here.
Let's do this drop. Let's go. All right.
Want to move him?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Watch that head. He looks like he took a roll in the chest. We got there, he was semi-conscious, moaning and groaning to us. Now he's out. He's not responsive at all. I'm having to assist us. Yeah.
Okay. Can you go ahead and get a blood pressure on him? Okay, how's he doing? Is he still breathing on his own?
Some. I'm having to work with him hard though.
Memorial, we're en route with an approximately 30-year-old male patient that was involved in a trauma accident at a factory. At this time, we are now showing no pulse, and he is not breathing on his own.
Hi, honey. It's me. I'm gonna be late tonight.
You sound like you're in the car, John. What's going on?
Well, it's just awful. We had a fatality at the plant today.
Oh no, John. Who was it?
It was Brian Smith.
Oh no. Does his family know?
No, his family doesn't know. I'm going to tell Lynn right now. This is just the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I just don't know how I can tell her. What can I possibly say to her?
Lynn, hi. John Mounts here from the plant.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this, but there's some awful news about Brian. Maybe if I could come in and sit down and we can talk.
What happened?
He was crushed by the wall.
Crushed?
He didn't make it. It was almost instantaneous.
Oh, Brian!
I know.
Oh, no.
It's awful.
Small mistakes can have horrible consequences, especially when you're working with remote control overhead cranes. Fatalities can occur when the stand in the clear rule is broken. Brian wasn't aware of his position, wasn't paying full attention to his actions. Remember, working safely means thinking of the other people in your lives who will be affected by your injury or death. How will their lives be without you? It takes constant vigilance, being ahead of the game to make sure they don't have to go through that pain. Without vigilance, you've just seen 4 of the more common mistakes that can cause accidents while operating remote control overhead cranes. Cranes are essential to getting our work done. They're easy to operate, and easy to operate correctly. Just make sure you give a little extra thought and time to developing the right operating habits. Always watch where you're walking when operating a crane. Remember that disorientation can be a problem. When you move a controller, look at the crane. Make sure you know where you and the crane control box are positioned at all times. And always stand in the clear when moving a load. These are simple habits to develop. It means using your head all the time and not hurrying unnecessarily. You have a personal responsibility to work safely for your own sake and the sake of others. You know what can happen if you don't.
Out there, he was semi-conscious.
Stretch out front.
To purchase a copy of this training program,